Hello dear YouTuber friends, and I do hope you're all keeping well. Welcome to this new video. In this video we're going to be looking at the Tobii Eye Tracker 5 in different sims, like DCS World here. My goodness, is this a special sim? And Elite Dangerous, so using Tobii Eye Tracker essentially in different games and sims. I'm going to be giving you my impressions of what it's like to use Tobii Eye Tracker in the two games, or one sim and one game that I've chosen. I'm going to show you a couple of settings that I've got set up in the Tobii Eye Tracker Gamehub. And I'm also going to give you my overall general recommendations at the end of the video. So as I fly over Dubai here, let's not dilly-dally. Let's get on with this video. So as you find me flying around the world's tallest building in Dubai. Now the graphics in DCS are not up to the standard of Microsoft Flight Sim or Flight Sim 2020, but they have a charm of their own. I mean, look at it. When I'm flying in DCS World, I don't fly generally unless I'm wearing a head tracking unit, like the D-Line clip that I own. I'll link my original review video that I did of the D-Line clip in DCS World. It's a cheaper alternative and it works well, but there's a lot of programs that you have to run in the background. The lighting's got to be correct with the D-Line clip as well, and you're tethered as well with the clip on your head. Just kind of takes you out. Oh, my stomach is churning when I do that. Takes you out of the experience. The absolute best way, I'm going to say this now, to fly in DCS World using some sort of head tracker. Let me just trim down in the Spitfire. This is a must, by the way. If you like World War II aircraft, you must try the DCS World and the Spitfire module. It's in a class of its own, especially if you like the Spitfire module in Flight Simulator, Microsoft Flight Simulator. Come and try this one. VR is absolutely the best way to play DCS World. There's no doubt about that. If you've got a competent system, a system powerful enough where you can have all the graphics near max in VR, you're going to have a whale of a time. I can't get along with flying in VR. I can only wear a VR headset for maybe 45 minutes, let's say max. Then I start to get pains on my forehead, and in this time of year when it's hot, it's just very uncomfortable. The next best way of flying using head tracking is undoubtedly the Tobii Eye Tracker. It just sits at the bottom of your monitor. I'll link my original review down in the description. Sits at the bottom of your monitor. I've always got it turned on, and then I just enable it in Microsoft Flight Sim or DCS World or Elite Dangerous and many other games and sims as well. Sims as well, rather, and just use it. There's no setup. I don't have to wear anything, and it's kind of like having VR. You've heard other reviewers say this, and you have to try it to know what I mean. What am I doing here? Coming down towards. You've got to be careful with maneuvers in the Spitfire. You don't want to do anything too vigorously, otherwise you will rip the wings off. The damage modelling in this DCS is second to none. Yeah, it's just like flying in VR without having a VR headset. It's the next best thing. Absolutely. Like I said, it's just sat at the bottom of my monitor, the Tobii Eye Tracker. I just enable it when I want to. And with the settings I've got set up, I'm going to just turn my head slightly. I can look around, and my stomach will churn sometimes. Such a visceral feeling of flight, the Spitfire, I've got to say. Got to do my favourite all-time aircraft video at some point. This is going to be mightily high on that list. I shouldn't have eaten 8 20 minutes ago. Not good for the stomach. Let's just do inverted just to make it matters even worse. Don't die on this Spitfire. fantastic. Yeah, must try. If you have the Tobii Eye Tracker already, let's hope. Am I gonna black out? No, I'm okay. Oh! I almost lost it. If you have the Tobii Eye Tracker already and a good PC, chaps, just give this a try. Trust me. If you have head tracking, if you don't have head tracking, you're not gonna get the experience in DCS World. It's almost like made for head tracking or VR. So Tobii Eye Tracker, massive recommendation. Especially with the settings that I've got. I'm still tweaking the settings slightly, but the settings I've got so far, my stomach, just makes it all work for me. Okay, on that note, let me show you the settings that I've got set up for DCS World and the Tobii Eye Tracker 5. Okay, so let me now show you my settings that I've got set up. This is the Tobii Gamehub. This actually installed when I just plugged in the Tobii Eye Tracker into my PC. So this should, I believe, install on top. I'm not sure. If not, just do a quick Google search for Tobii Gamehub and then you can install it. So when you install a game, as you can see, I've got various different games installed. It should give you settings for the games. Now, just to say that I do have DCS World running, actually, just in the Spitfire on the ground, so I've got my throttle nulled, so it shouldn't move forward. Don't want to be playing this offline when I'm not paying attention. Let me just show you. Eye tracking settings, you can either enable or disable it. I disable it, let me just enable it, and I'll show you what happens. If I'm looking, I'm not moving my head, but I'm just looking at objects in the distance, it will move the camera like it does in Microsoft Flight Sim if you got eye tracking enabled. Some people may like it, I don't, because obviously when you're flying you're looking around and it's following the eyes and moving your head or moving your view in that direction. I just find that a bit distracting, so I disable eye tracking personally. That's just a preference thing. So there you go, so now it's just head movement. Go back. Head tracking settings, I've got them turned on. I've turned off auto center. It does auto center, but with it turned on it's a bit more vigorous, so when I'm looking around it will auto center. Let's see if I can replicate that. I'll show you that and demonstrate that. It's almost like wanting to center. I just find that return to center a bit too extreme with it turned on, but I'm still playing around. You may not notice a difference there, but you can in flight. So I have that turned off and it just works better for me. So these are just suggested, by the way. It doesn't mean you have to do them. In head rotation, so if all these are closed, all these menus, let's just do that. So just go to head tracking settings, open it up, and if these are closed, just open them up in a similar way. So head tracking settings, head rotation, yaw. So basically when you're moving left and right, this is the sensitivity. The closer it is to the center, what have I got it on? 350. Let's show you. Closer as I've got it to the center, the more you have to turn your head to look around. When that close to the center, it's not good for head tracking. So I have mine, I didn't save this, let's see if I can get it back to the way it was. 3.5 wasn't it? Oh, 3.5, let's just near enough. I can mess around with that later. Just works fine. With that sensitivity curve pulled out, looking around just feels a lot more natural. That works for me. You've got the pitch there, so your up and down movement. I've got my sensitivities there. There you go, 2.0 or 2.00. Up and down sensitivities. So when I'm looking up and down, which sometimes you do, you can even look in, but I didn't show you that before, but you can look into your instruments, which is handy. And if you've got your gun sight up, I do have a trigger button on my Velocity 1 flight stick set up for that. Turn the guns on, in fact. There you go, fire some guns. I've just been banned from this airport. Did my Spitfire roll back? Sometimes it does. So there you go. That's the up and down movement, which you can use sometimes, but not as much as left and right. But that's the sensitivities I've got set up for that. 2.0, and roll, I've got it turned off. Now with roll on, let me show you what happens. If you roll your head slightly, Some people might, I mean, that would make it even more nauseous, I've got to say, but I don't like it. I didn't get quite along. I'm still playing around. Maybe I'll enable it again in the future. I just didn't get along when I'm flying and looking around. Sometimes your head can go a bit potty, shall we say, or your view can go a bit potty. So I disable head roll so I don't have that turned on. So there you go, head rotation, head position. The only thing I've really changed here is the X, well, I've changed a couple. The X-axis, I've pulled these right out, so when I'm looking left and right, I think these were closer, so you can move this up and down. These were closer to the centre, and I just, for some reason, prefer these pulled out, and it just gives me a more natural feeling when I'm looking left and right. The Y rotation up and down, again, I've just pulled them out a little bit. There you go, I'll click on that so you can see where they are. 300 millimeters. Z-axis, I think I've left alone as well. I think those two may be default. In fact, we can test that. Reset that axis. Reset that axis. That's where this was. And I've just pulled it out, and the other two are the same. So there you go, and the sensitivity is 1.06. So you can play around. These are just suggested settings in Tobii Gamehub, if you have it, or if you're thinking of buying it. And you can mess around with the curve here as well. I've still got little bits and pieces to play around with here, but those are the settings that I've altered and set up. And for me, they just work. There we go. See, right behind us, they just work beautifully. My stomach's churning on the ground. How's that? Okay, let me show you the Tobii Eye Tracking now in Elite Dangerous. So here we go. Now I'm using the Tobii Eye Tracker in Elite Dangerous. I have caught a couple of people in Discord. I saw a couple of people, not caught you. Playing Elite Dangerous. How are you playing it? Let me know if you're part of the Discord. Are you playing it in VR? Once again, VR really is the way to play this full immersion. I've never used head tracking, so my D-line clip in Elite Dangerous. This is the first time I've tried head tracking. Love it in VR. Once again, I can only play it for a short amount of time, and you play Elite Dangerous for hours if you get into it. Trust me on that. It's not a game you pick up for 5-10 minutes. It's a game you pick up for 5-10 hours at a time. So I love it in VR, but it's just not doable for me just because it doesn't quite suit me for that length of time. This is the next best way to play it I've found. Let me just focus in on this panel just so I can dock. It's this one. Request docking. Turn head tracking back on now. Wants me to land. Now, guys, if you're experts at Elite Dangerous, forgive my newbie skills on this. Used to be pretty good. If I start playing it again, I only started playing it again yesterday at the time of recording this. And previous to that was 6 months ago. I played it a whole lot back in the beta days and around Christmas time when I had COVID and I had not much else to do. I just played Elite Dangerous pretty much and Flight Sim. Where's my docking? Is that it ahead there? It looks like it's down there. 30. Okay, that's kinda. At least it's not right at the gate. Oh, let's not hit this guy flying above me. There you go. Head tracking in operation there. 30. It's not mine. There's 30. I was about to wrong. See, it's about to land at the wrong one. Let me just put my landing gear down. Gives you some idea. The scale of Elite Dangerous. This is just one of the many stations. I'm in Seoul, our home solar system. One of the billions of different star systems. If you don't know about Elite Dangerous, go and read up on it. Less than, I think, 10% of it. What am I doing? Has been explored so far. I told you about my skills or lack of skills. My goodness me, what am I doing? Hang on a second. Can I roll? Yeah, I can. Can I remember the controls for this thing? Got horizontal thrust on there. Let's see if I can line up properly with this landing zone. If you come and play it new, you're going to spend hours trying to land at these things. Space stations. It'll take a couple of days to get used to it again, like it is me. I'm lined up. Let's just come down. Got my vertical thrusters. If I roll, I'll be lined up and I should land. Fine. And we can go into, just to give you more of a demonstration, go into the bunker, so to say. Underneath the station, everybody gets their personal bunker with little TV screens and goodness knows what. There we go, we're turning around. Space station's above us. Let's look up. Wonderful. Now, I'm not sure whether I've got this set up. This one, I am still tweaking the settings. If you looked at my settings from DCS, maybe go and replicate. Let's launch now. Replicate a few of those settings I've set up. I've turned off eye tracking, I believe. Yeah, I don't have eye tracking on. Because wherever you're looking, and you do look around in this game as well, your head moves with the eye tracking. I didn't like that personally. Some of you may. Well, let's just launch, bring up our landing gear, and get out of dodge. Look at this station. So when you... this is one heck of a way. Like I said, aside from playing it in VR, playing it just in sort of normal view, you can use your hat switch to look around, but playing it that way, you're just missing out on the experience. Let me demonstrate that. I've got Bernard's star already selected. Let's jump to that system, hopefully. Let's get out of dodge first. Boost out of the station. I'll get told off for speeding, but never mind. You've got to wait till the mast lock is at the bottom right of the screen underneath my fuel there. When that goes off. Yep, there you go. It's gone off. I can jump. Let's jump to a different star system. And this is the beauty of it. I'll show you the galaxy map in a moment. It's enormous, 1-to-1 scale. So if you know how many stars, how many billions upon billions of stars are in our galaxy, it's kind of replicated in Elite Dangerous. It's famous for that. Probably the biggest game, per se, out there. Less than 10% of our galaxy has been explored by the player base. There you go, that's Bernard's star. So when you're in something like Tobii Eye Tracker or VR, let's concentrate on Tobii as I'm using that. Look at that, you can just look at the star. I can fuel scoop. Get some of my fuel back. Fuel scooping complete. There you go. I can watch the star go by. So as you're exploring different planets, now imagine being down on a planet somewhere and you're looking at the planet around you, maybe a planet that's really out of the way that nobody else has explored. So you find an unexplored planet and you're the first person to land there and explore it. And you're looking around. Tell you what we'll do, we'll just focus on a panel. What should I show you here? Let's show you the system map first, and we can line up with a space station. It takes you out of head tracking in Bernard's star. This one will do Miller Depot. That one. Miller Depot there. Depot. And we go to galaxy map. Let me just show you. So we're at Bernard's star. That's where we are. Let me just zoom out. We're in the bubble where all this sort of civilized life is. Zoom out. You get the whole galaxy. Zoom in on any of these parts and you're going to find unexplored planets and solar systems and stars and goodness knows what. It's just an outstanding game, really, for its size, its pure size. You can only really understand that if you get into it. Let me just go and line up with this space station. There you go. You can see this sort of hologram of it on the left there. But I'll line up my spacecraft with Miller Depot. It's going to take me a short time to get there. I'll bring you back when we get closer to it. So here you go, getting closer to Miller Depot at this time. You can see the planets next to it. You can look around freely. Such a wonderful feeling. It's a great way to play it. Like I said, I don't know if I have my settings right. One thing I have noticed, and I've noticed this with other people's videos, I don't believe I've not found a way where you can lean forward closer to your instruments. You can bring up your comm things in closer views. That's the comms where you start to type into local or world, and you can bring up that one so you can steady it. Don't believe there's... I've not found a way of actually bringing my... So if anybody knows that, I'm going to leave that to my viewers. Maybe somebody has Track IR. Or the the Tobii Eye Tracker, really, because that's what I'm using. If you found a way of actually leaning in closer to your instruments, let me know. I've not yet found a way, but I've not played around with this as much as DCS World, I've got to say. We'll get to Miller Depot, and then I'll give you my conclusions. J. To disengage. I was in Super Cruise mode there. There you go, there's the space station. What a sight. Now I can line up for this. It's a good entry point, this, because I can show you the value of having head tracking. You can line up, keep it in your line of sight to the left there. Let's just boost forward. Got some Elite Dangerous music playing there, very atmospheric at certain points. There you go, I can line up. Very easily. So head tracking in this game especially, or VR, you're getting a full experience. It's a lot easier to play with some kind of head tracking utility. So let me just request docking, then I'll sum up once we're docked, hopefully. So let's just go contacts, oops, request docking, get back into head tracking mode. Landing pad 3, that sounds close to the entrance, we'll have to see. So summing up, we'll do this as we dock. Like I said, I've not used head tracking in Elite Dangerous before, so this is the first time. The D-line clip, once again, yes, I believe you can use it. I'm not sure, I know you can use Track IR, I believe. Not sure about the D-line clip. Okay, I'm just listening to what he's saying. He's just saying keep clear of traffic coming in and out. You can see people going in and out of there. I've not tried the D-line clip. I've not tried Track IR. But concentrating on the Tobii, once again, I'm going to say it's the next best thing to trying this in VR. It just shows you if you have it for Microsoft Flight Sim anyway, and you enjoy playing other games and other experiences. I mean, look at this. Oh, what a way to experience Elite Dangerous. Again, recommended. I wouldn't say recommended solely for Elite Dangerous, but it depends if that's all you're playing, then why not? There's 0-3 ahead of me there. It is 0-3, isn't it? We'll soon find out. Put my landing gear down. Do a better landing this time, Hodgson, to finish. I wouldn't say solely for me as a flight simulator, not solely for Elite Dangerous. Love it in DCS World, love it in Microsoft Flight Sim, enjoying it in Elite Dangerous. I mean, look at that, you could just look around the stations. Probably be playing Elite Dangerous a whole lot more with the Tobii, as I always have it once again turned on. There's no setup. Once you have Gamehub, which starts with my PC automatically, let me just slow down. Once I start my PC up, Gamehub is up and running. Load up Elite Dangerous, bang, I'm into it. My Tobii's already turned on, and anyway, it's always turned on, rather. So what a way to experience it, like I say. Will that do? Will that do? That'll do. Ah, there we go. And I may just need to refuel in a little bit. There you go, chaps. So that's DCS World and Elite Dangerous using the Tobii Eye Tracker. If you have it, you've got nothing to lose with trying it with other games that support it. Do let me know your thoughts down below. Give the video a like if you've enjoyed it. Subscribe for more. And I'll see you soon.